Rachel Bronson, Thicker Than Oil, America's Uneasy Partnership with Saudi Arabia. In A Thicker Than Oil, America's Uneasy Partnership with Saudi Arabia, Rachel Bronson unfolds the intricate story of the long-standing but tenuous relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. The two nations, initially drawn together by oil and anti-communism interests, ventured into politicizing religion and funding Islamic extremists for their mutual goals in Afghanistan, Sudan, Somalia, and Pakistan. The book takes readers through pivotal events from Standard Oil's entry into Saudi Arabia in 1933, to the Six-Day War, the oil embargo, and 9/11, delving into the rise of Islamic politics and revealing the strategic bilateral partnership that has impacted the Middle East.
The strategic relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. The U.S. and Saudi Arabia have a strategic relationship based on shared interests in oil and anti-communism. This relationship strengthened as world demand for oil steadily increased. The Arab state owns 25% of the known oil supply, which accounts for 95% of its export revenues. The U.S. has been involved in Saudi oil since 1933, which led to the rise of Islamic politics and the use of religion as a base of power in Saudi Arabia. In the mid-50s, Egypt's President Gamal Abdel Nasser urged Arabs to overthrow the monarchies in Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Jordan. This precipitated an Arab Cold War, with the Saudis using religion to counter Egypt's anti-Western nationalism. The 60s and 70s saw the geopolitics of religion become more complex, as politics became enmeshed with religion in countries such as Afghanistan, Sudan, Somalia, and Pakistan. Finally, the 1967 war challenged America's relationship with all Arab countries, Saudi Arabia being no exception. Although there have been bumps in the road, their relationship continues to this day. The complex relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. This book's summary explores the tumultuous relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia from the 1960s to the post-Cold War era. The narrative highlights how the U.S. prioritized democratic reform in underdeveloped countries to counter Soviet influence, while concurrently supporting the conservative Saudi regime despite its lack of internal reforms. The book illustrates how the U.S.'s involvement in the region catalyzed the Saudi monarchy to use Islam to bolster its political base, leading to the formation of an Islamic bloc in the mid-1960s. The book describes events such as the border dispute between Saudi Arabia and Egypt, the Six-Day War, and the multi-billion-dollar partnership between the two nations to challenge the Soviets in Afghanistan. The book dissects the impact of Israel's victory and the rise of Saudi Arabia's radical Wahhabi Islam on the geopolitical dynamics of the region, highlighting how oil and anti-communism still served as the bedrock of the U.S.-Saudi relationship. The impact of oil on politics. The 1970s saw a sharp increase in demand for oil, causing its price to double. Arab nations, empowered by oil profits, began using oil as a weapon against the U.S. As a member of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, Saudi Arabia played a key role in launching a plan to nationalize multinational oil companies and urging other Arab OPEC nations to use oil profits to buy weapons. This was a threat that the U.S. administration failed to recognize. When Syria and Egypt attacked Israel, OPEC increased the price of oil by 70% and cut production by 5% for each month that the U.S. supported Israel. The Arab embargo, together with the Iranian oil crisis that doubled the price of oil, led to a recession in the U.S. Nonetheless, Saudi Arabia continued to prioritize its global anti-communism push over regional anti-Israel ideology, working to strengthen U.S. relations until the September 11, 2001 attack. The complex relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. The U.S. and Saudi Arabia formed a complicated relationship in the mid-1970s when oil prices skyrocketed, leading to the petrodollar and Saudi investments in the U.S. This relationship included military goods, a defense pact, and expertise on development, which led to the Saudis becoming the largest investor in U.S. government securities. By the late 1970s, the kingdom was struggling with internal radical religious forces, and external events, such as the Iranian Revolution and Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, challenged their stability. The US and Saudi Arabia aligned their interests in Afghanistan, but Congress opposed arms sales to the Saudis, causing tensions. When Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990, the US and Saudi Arabia's relationship reached its apex with Operation Desert Storm, costing the Saudis $60 billion. However, the relationship has since been strained due to volatile oil prices, weak Palestinian leadership, and the September 11 terrorist attacks, revealing Saudi Arabia's deep political and religious tensions and financial support for radicals worldwide. Today, the Saudis are working to contain destabilizing forces, but it will take time.
This politically charged book offers readers a comprehensive understanding of the complex and often uneasy partnership between the US and Saudi Arabia. From the initial collaboration based on oil and anti-communism to the politicization of religion, the book highlights the dynamics involved in maintaining this alliance. The journey from 1933 to the new millennium brings forth the challenges both countries continue to face, as well as the role of geopolitical shifts, the Arab Cold War, and religious tensions throughout the Middle East. With unresolved matters such as the financial support for radicals worldwide and the containment of the kingdom's destabilizing forces, a clear path forward remains uncertain.